Greetings, this is Danielle X with National Network View on the Silent Crime Report. Today, I have special guest brother Amir, as him and I are going to discuss awareness, prevention, and why. Let's stand by while he joins us here shortly. While we're waiting, hit notification below. You can add comments during the conversation or interview as well. And I will wait for him to join in. Thank you all for coming in. We're waiting on. He should be joining shortly, you all. There we go. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good, thank Allah. How you doing?
Happy Savior's Day.
Happy Savior's Day.
Indeed. Brother Amir, those who don't know, can you give a snippet real quick breakdown or breakdown of who and what you do here in Dallas?
What do you mean as far
Who
as?
you are, and then like what do you do here in Dallas? Community work.
Well, my name
Uh,
is Brother Amir Ali. Professional for work, I am a student support officer. I work with children to get in trouble, discipline, stuff like that. I've been working in the public school system for the past 10 years. But as far as it relates to the community, I'm a member of the Nation of Islam, student Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, along with a student Grandmaster Abdul Aziz Muhammad, my martial arts instructor. Today, actually, we just finished, myself, Sister Danielle, and other brothers and sisters, passed out maybe about 900 to 1,000 free cases of water to the community. Last week, we also passed out 350 boxes of food. I participate in different community awareness events that Sister Danielle and 10,000 Fearless put on, like training seminars where we bring our teacher, Grandmaster Abdul Aziz, to Texas. And we go over different safety, self-defense, and community awareness activities for the community. Also, just always, I don't like using the term mentoring because everybody calls themselves a mentor, but I also just give time to the youth whenever I'm available, whether it's students, whether it's children I see in the streets, whether it's my nieces and nephews, just always trying to give time back to the children, because as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us, that's our future. So just like your own personal future, whatever I do to better myself for the future should be the same thing, how we treat the children. Whatever we put into the children is what we can expect to get back in the future. So I hope question, sister.
I love it. Yes, sir. I want to say personally, for me and my children, my sons, you have been a big impact on them. Your conversations are real, and you don't come from a Google, YouTube video, but you come from life experiences that help and make it relatable. And that's a blessing that everyone does not have that skill and ability to be able to make this stuff realistic. So I thank you for those conversations on their behalf, and to watch you in the community, even dealing with the brothers, here locally or throughout the nation. It's it's a good thing to be able to have someone like yourself to be able to make this real, and not just textbook, read, but actual things that you have gone through, things you want to have happen, and that's very, very beneficial.
Yeah, so let me say this too. I'm originally from California, and I'm in Texas because I came to school and I got married and just fell in the local mosque, Dallas, Texas, to help our people, because it doesn't matter where you're born or where you're native to. Our people are in bad, oppressed positions all over the world. So wherever we find ourselves, we should just find a community similar to our own to try to make it better while we're there in that city.
Yes, sir. Brother Amir, while we were out in the community today, it was amazing. Before we start the questions, a brother came to you about water, not having water running through their communities. Can you give a quick snippet for the people that are watching what that conversation was like?
Oh, yes, sir. He said, I believe it was a community towards Seagoville, and they don't have any running water still to this day. So they even have to bathe with bottled water. So he was trying to get with us so that we can make some arrangements to take some water over there to that community. Because although that freeze was about 2 weeks ago, there's still certain communities that are still suffering from lack of water because the water industry as well weren't able to catch up to be able to provide the water, the high demand of water that the community needs, not just drinking water, but bathing water and cooking water and things of that sort. So it was by the grace of Allah that we were able to do that. And I believe Sister Danielle will give the next date when we're able to pass out more water to the community later on.
Yes, sir. But he had mentioned 124 years of no running water in that community. Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
Amazing.
Man. All right, so on the forefront, I know you and I both are students of Grandmaster Abdul Aziz, which is a privilege and an honor definitely to be able to get the knowledge from that man. But, you know, when you hear these things on TV about missing children, being kidnapped, the surface basics of human trafficking, to you, what does awareness and prevention mean to you?
Well, I think the first thing awareness and prevention means is the key thing of being aware that it's real. I think a lot of the times when it doesn't happen to you or someone you know, we don't really take it serious in our society, especially, you know, how long you have been teaching us in the community about survival. A lot of people didn't take that serious until we got hit with that freeze. And then, you know, the messages and all of the things start happening. But you know, it's not the same. Growing up when I was young, we used to be able to go to the park or just go outside and play. But nowadays it's a little different, just because of the time that we live in. I don't believe that. I'm sure human trafficking was going on then, but I don't know if it was to the same magnitude that it is to this day. You know, I spoke with you the other day on how many Amber Alerts I got in one day, and that was really displeasing to me, because to think that many children, and not just children, adults, are being abducted on a daily basis that you don't even consider. And then your reply was like, man, that's just the ones that are being reported. And that saddened me as well. So I think the best way to, not the best way, but a good step to preventing is the first step of awareness. And that first step is to knowing that it's happening and not to be naive to think that it can't happen to you. The best way to think that it can't happen to you is if you're involved in doing things to prepare yourself so it can't happen to you. So yeah, I think that answers, because I don't want to keep going. It might go into another question. So yes.
Yes, sir. No, but I mean those individuals in the community who say, you know, I've been safe all this time, I haven't been harmed, or you know, I've been out at night for years, nothing's ever happened to me. So for those kind of individuals, how would you approach that in helping them to be aware of their surroundings?
Well, as the Bible teaches, the pride comes before the fall. So,
yes, sir.
And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan also teaches us never to laugh or mock someone else in their trial, because Allah will soon send you that same trial. So when a voice of reason comes to offer you to be prepared and prepare yourself, arrogantly thinking that it hasn't happened to me yet, you're really just setting yourself up for something to happen to show you yourself. It never hurts to be prepared in some kind of way, whether it's carrying the extra, even carrying your keys in the proper way, for that to be a way to defend yourself, so just to get a second or two to scream, or whatever you can do to give yourself a fighting chance is good. And it's nothing wrong with, we have to, as a society, get away from, you know, when people offer us some information, the person offering you the information has a sense of joy or excitement to share with you something that can help you, or, you know, save or prolong your life. And when you tell them replies like, you know, I know, or yeah, it ain't happened to me, you kind of crush that person's spirit, So then now they almost, well, I mean, I wish I ain't never tell you. Versus just saying, thank you for that tip. I'm going to look how I can apply that. Now, you know, you sent that person off feeling like they've done their good deed. And also now you are now looking for it. Grandmaster, he also teaches us to, you know, when I'm walking down the street, I don't know what this person has in their mind for me, so I'm prepared for the worst. And if something doesn't happen, and praise be to Allah that it doesn't happen, but if it does happen, then I'm prepared. He also teaches us there's no such thing as a sucker punch. The only sucker is the sucker that got punched because he wasn't prepared, and he thought that it wouldn't happen to him. So, you know, I would just stress to those people to do something to prepare yourself. And if you are doing something and you know, Sister Danielle, the ones that are preparing never reject that kind word of, you know, do something that prepare, oh, this is going on or that's going on. They don't reject it because they're already in preparation, and they're like, yeah, man, that's why I got this, or that's why I'm doing this. So, you know, only the ones, the arrogant ones, reject advice that will prolong your life, because you only get one life. You know, no one has ever died and came back and said, you know, it's good over here. All of the people that believe in the hereafter or whatever, you know, you're gonna go somewhere when you die. When your life is on the line, you start praying to preserve your life. So there's something in you that just don't know. Even the roach, you know, I everybody not grow up around roaches, but when you're about to kill the roach and you hit that light, the roach stops, because there's something in that roach that knows that they want to preserve their life. So that's the same of the most intelligent creature that's ever been created, the human being. Is something in you that knows that you want to preserve your life, but unfortunately, it's only in those last seconds that you may start thinking of that. So, you know, God willing that we start as a community, start doing things to preserve our life and preserve each other. I hope that answers your question.
You answered a lot, and that it was a lot in that for me, because I'm thinking about general orders. You know, number 12 for women in particular, and children shouldn't be out past dark. No. You know, we did it growing up. We had to be home before the street light came on. It's real. That's you know, but now you have individuals who sit and wait. Yeah. They praying and waiting for that little girl.
Listen, their job is to get your organs. If I can get $1,000 for a toe, that's what they're doing. So I'm looking for you to not expect it to be you. They're literally prowling on you. So when you come in rushing out the house because you're late and you forget to do, they're looking for that. When you're not locking your, they're looking for that, because they're preying on you being naive. You know, that's their career, you know.
Yeah, a whole toe. You said toe.
A whole toe. You get 1,000. I don't know if that's really the going rate, but
yeah, it's real.
Especially your man. That stuff is worth money. I see on
yeah. You know, I mean, they're buying eyes, they're buying teeth, they're buying skulls, they're buying fingers. You know,
the original people of this world don't understand how valuable your organs are, your skin is, your blood is. It's, you don't understand the value, man. And when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan tried to teach us the value of just our own skin, we look at different decisive or different differences in ideologies that we may find different, instead of finding the truth. And the important thing of it is he's trying to tell you how important you are to yourself and to God, regardless of what you call them, regardless of the ideology that you believe. The most important thing is to find the importance in yourself, to eat better, to think better, to love better, to treat each other better, because all of those things just make you better and make your life better. And you prolong. They always talk about the members of the Nation of Islam, of how young you look. Well, it's because how we eat, and it's because how we think, and it's because how we treat one another. And we try to love you beyond your ignorance, and that only does something for yourself, you know?
Man. Yes, sir. That was a lot. That was a lot. Brother Amir, when you see on social media or you hear about social media, A lot of our children are being exposed to porno through social media, through conversations. We didn't learn that till way late. Like even hearing the fact that this is happening on a tape or a DVD but these children are being exposed to things young. My daughter's 11. I'm trying to keep it
That's real.
closed. But for what advice do you have for adults who have young children or teenagers?
Yeah.
What advice do you have in being a helicopter parent, but having that balance and not killing it at the same time?
That's a very good question. I actually was talking to my children for about 2 hours last night concerning electronics, because when we were children, we didn't have that. Again, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches that social media is neutral. It could be used both ways. It could be good and it could be bad. And so I noticed, because all of the students going virtual now, they're being exposed to things that even adults don't know. Like, for example, Google Slides. Children learn how to use PowerPoints, certain skills that can be really beneficial for them. However, it's also dangerous because, as you were speaking, there's predators that specialize in hacking and specialize in prying on children in the chats of these video games like Roblox and all of these things. It's some real weirdos out there. So for the adults, we have to stop just giving our children the tablets and the devices to entertain themselves because we don't want to be bothered.
Exactly.
It's a very trying, hard time for everyone right now.
Yeah, it is definitely hard. Yes, sir.
Dealing with employment, dealing with, if you're in Texas, the freeze, maybe your house just underwent. So we're stressed. So it's easier just to give them a device and tell them to go play. But the child mind is curious, just like our minds at once. So when they see something interesting, they're going to click on it. They're going to search it. And these TV shows, the Disney Channel is so wickedly wise because they're teaching our little girls about relationships at 8 years old. My wife was telling me that my daughter was like, oh, I like romance and stuff. And I said, yo, give me your phone quick. Like, how do you know anything about romance at 8 years old? But it's because the show showed the little girls liking a little boy, and that's okay. Well, it's starting to desensitize them to other things. So to parents, I would say actively be involved. And, unlike our parents, because of the time, and it's not a shade on them, they didn't involve us in our upbringing, meaning they didn't have conversations with us. They just instructed us. And that, we'll brag about how intelligent our children are, but we don't take into account them as an intellect. Now, when I'm chastising them, they may not think the chastise that I give them is justice and fair, and they have their right to, because even me as an adult, when my father chastises me, I'll be like, man, shit, I'm grown, Dad. So I don't got to him because I'm grown, but I don't do my father like that now because I've learned. But however, when I was young, I thought like that. But now as an adult, we forget how when we were children, we didn't always agree with our parents' judgment or our parents rearing in us, because I don't believe that there's no parent that wants bad for their children. So now as a parent, as I see myself in you and I'm trying to guide you, I don't take into account that you have your own mind and you are your own person. So you deserve a conversation with me of why I'm guiding you this way. So treating your children as people and human beings, allow them to really look at the advice and the wisdom that we're giving them, because every man of God that we follow, I don't care if you're a Christian, a Jew, or a Muslim, every man of God that we follow, if you study, they were always extra kind to the child.
Yes, sir.
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one time he sent a child to the store, and it was a while before he came back. So the prophet went to look for him, and he found him playing. And when he found him playing, he didn't chastise him. He just took him on and sent him on his way. It was another story where a child was, the prophet, peace be upon him, he lost the money that he was supposed to get from the store, and he thought he was going to get a whooping or be chastised. So the prophet escorted him home and to ensure that he wouldn't get a whooping. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad, when he would be in discussion with elders and children would come, he would stop and give them time. So these are all powerful men that are stopping to pay attention to our children. And I would be remiss to not use the example of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan doing the same, and our teacher, Grandmaster Abdul Aziz, doing the same. And the reason why I refer to these men so much as I'm getting asked these questions, because the answer is not coming from just me. It's coming from each one of those men that taught me these things, along with my father, Brother Shaheed Muhammad, who introduced me to these men, great teachers, to help me be the person that I am, to even be able to have this wisdom to answer the question. So I'm probably, if any looker is like, man, why does he keep saying this person teaches him and that? Because I'm not going to just tell you that from my mouth, because I didn't come up with that information myself. I'm just striving to apply that with my children and my wife and my family and my community.
Your wife just commented, I'm all for equal rights for the babies. Yes, ma'am, that is so fair. And that will close the gap, Sister Sierra and Brother Mir. If we start giving more time to our children and not chastise only for chastisement, or only for, why my dishes ain't washed?
Right.
Why you ain't mopped the floor last night before you went to bed? Those are the only things we're doing. You know, we're not even cooking for our children. They're eating instant food. So, you know, when they find someone who tickles their ear in conversation on social media, why not?
Right.
You know, so you make key points in that to be just to our children. And that will help stop the kidnapping. That will help stop the children being abducted into sex trafficking. Not knowing that once you are taken into that world of sex trafficking and human trafficking, if you're able to get away, you're gonna be in a position to where you can be molested multiple times a day based on the lack of communication between you and your parents, or you and your grandparents, or whomever. So it is very important to start giving them justice, or helping them to seek balance and love and respect. I'm your elder, indeed I am. I am your mother or father, but guess what? I have to respect your opinion. I have to be able to ask you, how do you feel about that? You know, tell me what you got from that conversation. Versus chastising and never asking them. You mentioned they're human beings. Why not? So in that, even in marriages for wife and husband, the husband may do the same thing, chastising, and the wife never have her own opinion. So then when someone come tickle her ear, unfortunately, some brother come tickle her ear and make her feel a certain type, she's feeling wooed by him, or her, so then we're put into a bind of things happening beside of that. But it was the fact the communication was open. And they were able to be them. I felt free around him. I was able to be myself around him. So it's very important to have communication and have balance in any relationship you're with. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is a very big advocate about justice, equality on all bases. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, would stop when a child came in the room.
That's right.
To see what they had to say. You don't just cut them off. Okay, well, I'll talk to you later. No, because that moment of time that child has something to say is very important, because if they don't tell you, they'll go on social media possibly and tell them, or go tell the uncle who's a pedophile and you didn't even know it. And now the uncle is pleasing the ego of conversation. So we have to make sure we close the gaps in our families to be able to not allow it or keep feeding on to this big issue.
And you got to stop trusting everybody with your children, and trust everybody with your relationship. And you got to stop always, watching TV with your relationship, because sometimes husbands and wives brings the TV into the relationship, and that breaks the communication, because we just don't want to listen, or I don't want to, empathize. That's one, we sympathize with each other, but we don't empathize with each other. And empathy is putting myself in your shoes. When somebody got their baby abducted, I'm looking at my children like, damn, how would I feel? When you hope, you don't got nothing. You don't know where to look. You don't know where to go. So why wait till that time, you know? So I feel how you feel, mom, that lost their child. So I'm going to spend extra time teaching my baby the importance of stuff around. Yo, is the door locked? Go check. Go. Don't, you know, yesterday when we were at the mosque, I told Amir, don't have your back to the street because somebody's going to walk up on you. And you can't even tell your uncle that's right there, because that's why you probably were relaxed, because your uncle was right there. But if you can't see the threat, you can't even scream to your uncle to come save you, because you and yourself, you're going to need your uncle to come help, but you're not even in view to see it, to scream for help. So just small things like that, you know, paying attention and like that, man, you know. And general order number 12, man, we jumped over that to be especially watchful at night. Man, you know, we shouldn't be going to the grocery store at night. Women, that single mothers, you shouldn't go to the grocery store at night. You shouldn't even let, you know, Instacart deliver at nighttime.
That's right.
Certain discipline or structure that you have when you order your groceries, when you're ordering things online, when you're going to the grocery store, when you're walking in the store, where you're parking at from the store, when you before you come out the store, having your keys ready and ready to chirp, when you're putting your groceries in the car, just looking at all of that stuff, you know, because it's just better in the daytime when everyone can see, man. Just, when the night, you know, when it's nighttime, when it's nighttime, we should really slow down if we can. You know, we shouldn't. We should try to just be in safe places and be in communication. You know, everybody has the cordless earphones now. Being on the phone with somebody. Yo, I'm at the Walmart on Beltline and 67. Nothing, girl. Yeah, I'm walking to the car right now. Hey, how you doing, sir? When he's from hey, how you doing? You all right? See, I don't care if you all right. I don't care how you doing. But I'm just letting you know I see you.
Yes,
you know,
right.
Hey, how you doing? You all right? I'm just testing your temperature. All of these things we have to put into our weapon, which was our mind, to help. I kind of want to understand this. So go ahead.
That was good. That was good. It was good. And I was thinking when you were talking like about that even daytime can be risky.
Yeah.
Let somebody know where you at all times, sisters, and even brothers. I mean, I mean, they are getting so bold. They were taking children off of porches and putting them in the car, mother in the house, not even knowing. But we're comfortable in our neighborhood that it will not happen. But a car drove by, picked the baby up, gone.
Quick.
But it's my space. I mean, my house, my yard, my grass, and they violated that.
Yeah.
You have to be cautious and careful all the time, and know that it's always somebody watching you.
Always.
And when you're on the phone, sisters, and you're in a grocery store, you have to be careful because the manager may be involved, the security officer may be involved.
Right.
They have brothers who walk through the grocery store, shoppers who are involved. Things happen. Not saying you can prevent everything. Right. But that awareness is very important to have, because I mean, literally, you're worth $1 million.
Literally.
If I'm able to snatch you and put you in a car or come behind you and say, hey, don't move, don't scream. You scream, I'm going to kill you. That's not only on TV, that happens for real. And we have to know that it's somebody out there that's hungry. It's someone out there who got a family who can't eat, and they're willing to do that. Somebody came to them, hey, I'll pay you $1,000 if you go find me a little girl at the age of 13.
That's right.
They're gonna go find me a little girl, or find me a adult woman, dark skinned, about 5'6",
right?
And they'll find it. Right. So we have to be mindful that everything that you do can put you in a vulnerable state. Right. Everything that you do, even going to work, coming to your house, even in your house, right? You have to be careful. So that you hit a lot when you broke that down about people coming up to you, speaking to you. I spoke to you, but I see you.
I see.
You know, make eye contact. Remember what they had on. Remember what they look like. Now I'm gonna tell you too that, sisters, you know, when someone come attack you, sisters or brothers, however it may be, don't just lay there and accept it.
No.
Brother Amir, can you feed on that? What Brother Grandmaster Abdullah Aziz talks about not sitting and taking it.
Right.
Can you elaborate on that?
Right. Yes. You know, the Grandmaster Abdul Aziz teaches us, don't give anybody nothing that you don't want them to have. And I believe that's the quote he quoted Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan saying that
Yes.
male
Yes.
and female. Unfortunately, that goes for males too. You know, don't don't judge people by your moral compass, meaning that, you know, you might be a real pious person and a good person, and you want to expect the best out of somebody. But Ted Bundy was known for being real charismatic to women. Oh, can I help you with that? Hey, how you doing today?
Yes.
Don't use your moral compass to judge people. You know, as I use the roach, man, you could squash one of them jokers and they still going. You know,
Yeah.
you can cut a chicken's head to slaughter them, and the nerves in the chicken is still going. So why, again, the most intelligent creature that God Almighty has ever created, why would you just lay down and give your life? You know, the eyeball, the nose, the throat, and the growing area, I don't care how strong you are, very sensitive regions for anybody, male or female, sisters or and children. If your life is ever in danger, if you can reach the eyeballs and stick a finger all the way in the eyeball, I guarantee you he's gonna let you go. And I mean, like your life dependent. It's like I'm coming, like if your life dependent on it, your nails, and you scrape them in the eyeball, I promise he's gonna let you go. If you stick your fingers all the way, it might sound gross and grueling, but I'm talking about your life, so you can make it to your children and your family. If you stick your finger all the way into the back of someone's nostrils, they gotta respond. It's the same way for the growing area, and the same thing for the, I think it's the larynx or the throat muscle, where you grab that, they have to let you go, and all you need is just a little time to get away. If a man straddles you, ladies, if you grab the back of the eardrums, and you not the ear, the air, and you put your nails back here, and you just ripping, he's gonna let you go. You grab the ears and go to the growing muscle. See, those things are gonna get you free. See, that's the difference in VSK Jiu-Jitsu and maybe the typical MMA sports or even boxing. All of that stuff is good, but notice I said the sport. Boxing is fighting, and that's good, and we work on our boxing and all of that. That's good from the shoulders. But now I'm telling you, your life depends on it now. There's no tap out. There's no 10-second knockout. This is you and a predator trying to take your life. I'm going to do whatever I got to do to make it home to my children and my wife. So if I got to rip your lower region out as hard as I'm going to do that to make it home. So my sisters, please, 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 don't let anybody have nothing that you don't want them to have. And brothers too. Because I'm not going to be arrogant and foolish to think that brothers ain't getting took like this, man. You know, we living in 2021, modern day Sodom and Gomorrah and Babylon. So it's real out here, brothers. You got to protect yourself, and you got to get away from this ego that I can fight. You know, if you haven't been in a fight since you were 13 years old, brother, you can't fight, because the chances are you're going to hold your breath when you're swinging. And the average street fight goes 10 seconds.
That's
and if
right.
you miss with that first, man, and you get caught on the chin, and next thing you wake up with a dress on, and somebody's
lip gloss.
you're gonna feel some kind of way. And excuse the vulgarness of it, but I really just want us as brothers to stop being so arrogant to think that it can't happen to you. You know, it can happen to anybody, man. And brothers, stop leaving your children to just anybody. You know, stop being so damn combative with the child's mother that had your child. Yes, she may be whatever, you know, y'all may have your faults, but the point is the well-being of your children. So whatever you got to do to put her at ease so that you can be in your child's life, so when she does start dating somebody else, that brother knows that, or sister, because we got to be real, knows that you in their life, and they'll be they gonna consider that you're gonna get what they program before they do something to your children and your child's mother, because it's our duty to protect the family. I don't care that you're not together no more. That's still your duty to make sure that she's safe, because she is bringing up your child, brothers, and vice versa. Sisters, we got to work with the fathers that want to be involved, because we got to work together. It doesn't matter that you're no longer intimately together, but now y'all together raising your child, because once the child becomes of age, now they're a productive member in society, and whatever happens to them as children, society is going to deal with. So we got to be able at least to get along on the basis as parents, bring up this child. Safety. Brothers, who you dealing with? Because sisters ain't always right neither. So you're at least able to deal with that mother, so that sister knows that that mother is involved. So I'm not going to mistreat that child. I would recommend a lecture called The Problems in Relationships by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, where he advised us, if we are having extended families, how to involve one another so that everyone can develop in the same way where it's not productive. You know,
that's right.
Something that you said, see, the electronics is too smart for its good. Something you said about the phones, you know, we got to get out of that spooky you said let people know where you at. We got to get out of that spookiness that, you know, I don't want the man to know where I'm at.
Yes.
Shut up. He got you already. If your phone is off, he know where you at. It's with your phone on every app is looking for your location. So stop that. Tell somebody what you got going on, so we know how to trace and find out that you say, check, hey, some like him sit, oh, what's up, brother? I just made it home. Hey, what's up? This is what I got going on today. I'm gonna be here, and there. I'll holler at you later. So we can protect our community like the other ethnicities do. Every ethnicity protects their community and works together, but us. You know, but that's going to start another conversation.
And that was even in touching that subject. You know, today was another level of understanding that they covered down for they was pulling up with the trucks.
The Hispanic community, man, they was getting all of this water that we had today. The Hispanic community was there fast, you know, because they're aware of taking advantage of resources. It's something going on with us that we just don't take advantage of these resources, but you know, the Hispanic community is our brothers and sisters too. So we here to help all oppressed people and liberate all oppressed people, no matter the race, creed, class, or color. That's what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is teaching us to do. So we have to come and practice group economics, black man and black woman. We have to, or we're going to be destroyed. It's
definitely. Brother Baker, boy, 2347, Brother Amir, he said, Brother Amir said something about placing yourself in a vulnerable position of being a victim of sex trafficking. That sat on me. It's the young women and girls that accept their acceptance of the lifestyle.
That's right. That's right. So now we talked about that, but not really talked about it. And it's going back to you, dad and uncle and brother and any male figure in these little girls' lives right now. The the woman is so, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said a woman is so delicate, she's like a rib. So a rib, if you know, is curved inside, right? So she's so delicate. So you can't try to straighten her out, because then you'll break your rib, right? So that's how delicate that we have to deal with our woman. You know, Minister Abdul Rahman, may Allah be pleased, when his daughters were giving testimony about him, he said he didn't raise his voice at them, and he didn't treat them harshly. I said, man, I got to do better about that dealing with my daughters, because as what Brother Ken was saying was, when a woman is used to being treated a certain way, she doesn't know it's wrong. So if her daddy is always yelling at her, if one of her close family members sexually abused her, now a pimp comes and starts prostituting. Well, they have mixed feelings of what love is now. You know, it has to be something thrown off to you to be able to go dance nude on a pole for money. And now
Man.
this society is glorifying that. Now you
Yes.
can have a website and get paid to take your clothes off just to
Ah,
go online, and they're glorifying it. If you get 1 million viewers and they all give you $1, that's $1 million just to show
yes.
my breast. So
Yes.
when that level of desensitizes, what's next? So now if I just straight up offer you $50,000 to
Hmm.
have this exchange with 4 or 5 men, your brain has already been desensitized to wanting to gain
Man.
money. So now you're accepting that lifestyle, as Brother Ken was saying, and they even use women to recruit women for that
Yes.
lifestyle. So as Sister Danielle is calling it sex trafficking, that culture may not call it self-trafficking, just like
Mhm.
the gangbang culture. If you're not in the gangbang culture, you may look at it as tearing down your community or bad to your community. But if you're in the culture, you understand that these are my brothers and I'm just hanging with my brothers and I had no one else. So then we
Yes, right.
look at them retaliating for a love lost. Well, it's because they don't know how to channel that pain,
Yes.
losing a loved one. So I gotta go make you feel that pain. And so now
Yes.
it's an ongoing cycle, but it's a
Yes.
culture that they're in, so they don't see no wrong because that's
Man.
their culture. It's the same
Yep.
thing with the stripping culture. It's the same thing with the pornographic culture. It's the same thing with the pimping and whatever it's called culture. And it's the same thing with the sex trafficking culture. Once you're in that culture, you don't know that it's wrong. So it takes sisters like Sister Danielle and programs like this to constantly bring awareness, because maybe we can't stop the thousands that are already in it, but we could bring awareness to the little girls now and the young teens
Man.
and now to be more attentive to their children, to talk to them. Hey, what happened today at school? Well, I noticed that
Mm-hmm.
the car kept driving and it kept passing. Well, that's something you need to bring to the
Yes.
attention. Well, I noticed this man always walks by school. That's something you need to talk to your professionals at your school about. You know, it's
Yes.
these things that we have to teach what to be aware of, because we can say be aware, but be aware of what? You know, look
Hmm.
out for it, but look out for what? Because again, like I said, you know, if you grow up, you're a third generation pimp, you don't know it's wrong because you grew up with women that was called hoes around you your whole life. If you're a
Yes, sir.
third generation gang member, you don't know that that's wrong because this is your whole life. So what my brother Ken said is very true, because it's a lot of people that accept that culture and accept that mistreatment, but it takes shows like this to bring awareness, to show it it's not okay to mistreat. It's not okay to put your hands on women. It's not okay for you to beat your husband.
Clear, yes.
I know some of you brothers be getting punched on, and so I'm gonna tell my sisters to stop punching on you, because
True.
that's not right either. Oh
You
man.
and dealing with that, because that was a lot of information. For those who are just now joining in, I have special guest Brother Amir Ali, as him and I are discussing the importance of prevention and awareness completely, a full package on what that looks like and why. And I know we are adult women, we grown, I've been doing this all my life. My children, she be I had to grow up fast, she
Yeah.
had to grow up fast. On my son, no, I'll put him out there, he gotta be a man.
Right.
You can't have your son in the house. You gotta put him outside and let him go climb a tree or something. And but that's not always, certain things we did as children in the 80s and 90s don't work for right now. That
No.
that was the, we have to be able to adapt to our environment. Guerrilla warfare. What does it look like in your environment? Check out even the art of war. It tells you that we have to be able to check certain things out and work what works for you. What I can deal with in Garland, in Texas, you can't deal with in Oak Cliff.
Right.
So everybody's environment is different and everybody's household is different. The
Right.
Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we don't do sleepovers.
No.
It's a reason for that. Your
Yes.
child go spend the night over Lisa's house, and now your child has to adapt to that environment.
Right.
So if that's normal for molestation to go on in that household, Your child has to go in what's called survival mode.
Right.
And they may not ever even tell you it happened.
It may not.
But they may say, hey, I want to go back over there because Uncle Timmy was treating me a certain type of way. I felt good.
Right.
So we have to be careful with our children. Don't have your daughter or son on Uncle Ray Ray lap.
No.
Whatever his name may be.
No. I don't know
Don't
that
do
my
that.
daughters not keep themselves covered in my house. They always keep their mother make sure they keep long pants on under their dress.
Yes.
Because that's important, and they don't sit on uncle's lap and all of that. Kiss. I don't even kiss my daughters in the mouth or even in the face. I kiss them on their forehead,
That's
not
right.
because of any. I don't even change my daughter's diapers unless it's an emergency because the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us not to. We don't have to. Not that we don't have to, that we shouldn't, because that's just not proper. Male and female exchange has to be dealt proper. Now, that's not saying it's wrong, fathers, for changing their daughters, but I'm married and my wife can do that. But now when my wife can't, I step up and I handle it. But it's certain things that my wife is never gonna have to do that I'm
right.
Because that's if a robber comes in the house, I'm not gonna ask her to go check to
That's
see
right.
if somebody. So it's the same thing with dealing with my daughters. A woman should rear her in the way that she can go. Again, I'm not against doing it, but it's like I got my wife in my house. Then she should do that. So as teaches the house Elijah Muhammad. But if I was single and I was watching my daughters, I would change them because that's necessary. So it's nothing wrong with that, Father.
Yes, and even for a single brother or a single sister, you know, and going through the courtship process or dating for many, be careful who you have around your children.
Yeah.
I have heard so many stories, Brother Amir, of sisters in particular told me she went to her mother when she was young and told her mother what happened. And her mother got angry with her. Why you coming telling me this? When I find a good one, you come with this. Because every man that came in her life raped her.
Yeah.
But her mother got mad at her because she come and telling her the situation. And now her mom is mad because she got a good man now. He provided for us. He feeding you. He giving you what you need. Stop lying.
Right.
Just imagine what that would do to the psyche. You know what I'm saying? So now you have to hold that in to avoid those wounds.
Right.
We as women have to protect what's out. If you love it, you protect it.
Right.
You shield it. You cultivate it. Don't just be willy-nilly trusting him or her with your children or even brothers with their wives.
Right.
Don't have you don't walk around the house freely when a brother got company. Sit your butt down. Or when he having a conversation with a brother, stand down.
Right.
So we have to be mindful that our placement put for a reason to avoid certain situations because people are watching your motion and you could be snatched based on those things alone.
Right.
And then now you're in the human trafficking world. Now you're being organ harvested, or now you're just being straight out killed.
No, they don't even talk about that sister that they found in the refrigerator in Chicago anymore. They don't talk about that no more.
No, or the brother who got found in the mat.
No, in the mat, right? The wrestling mat, right?
Yeah. He was in the gymnasium. He was glued together. That means it had to be someone who was trained,
right?
Who stole the organs. And for her, she was in a warehouse. She was in a basement refrigerator that was not in service.
Right.
And on the camera, there's camera footage of a doctor with a medical bag going down to the basement with a security officer of the hotel that's owned by Trump. Go down in the basement, come back up, left, found the body in the daggone basement. No one's talking about that. And then her best friend, the following month, Kanika, her best friend was murdered in a warehouse and her organs were missing.
Yeah, this is
no headlines.
No, man.
So we have to be able to stop. I know it can become repetitive. It can become boring for some. I've heard that already. We have to stay on our A game because it's happening right before our eyes.
And you don't want it to get real when you don't want to make it real when it happens to you when it's your baby,
Mm-hmm.
cousin, or your auntie, or your relatives that's missing, and now you want everybody to repost and you know
Yeah.
shout out this, but you didn't give that energy when it was their sister and their mother and their father and all of that. So, you know, we just as a community have to do better at being aware of the time. Um,
Hmm.
Minister did a whole lecture series of the time and what must be done. And
Yes.
almost 10 years ago now. It's crazy. It's almost 10 years in 2023. It'll be 10 years, right?
Wow.
And so he was
Yes.
telling us the time, long time ago, and everything is heightened that now. We had time back then, but now it's actually the time where everything is into flourishing. Like, you know, when the coronavirus first hit, he started telling us to store food in our houses.
Yeah.
Well, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has been telling us, but he reiterated it during that time. And when that
Yes.
freeze hit,
Hmm.
the believers were out of food and water during that time. We may have been out of lights and heat,
Mm-hmm.
but the essentials of food and water were taken care of because we heeded the warning. So as we in the Nation of Islam strive to continue to remind our community, black, white, brown, all of the oppressed people in this world, man, the evil of this world don't care what you look like or what you believe, but God does. And that's why he gave us the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to warn and prepare all of us for these great calamities that were coming um, before us. So just, if you don't remember anything else today, just remember, don't think it can't be you. And
Hmm.
best form of awareness is starting to be aware of the time and all of the stuff that's going on right now. You know?
Yeah, definitely. That's very important, you all, for him to share that information and know too that sex trafficking or human trafficking is a natural disaster,
Yeah,
man-made disaster. It's
right.
happening so much. It's every 3 minutes in Texas, a child is being snatched. Imagine your clock going off for Amber Alerts every 3 minutes, Brother Amir.
No, and that
We got
beat,
to stop.
man, this be going, man. Damn, I'm mad, man.
Yes, sir. Is there anything you would like to share before we close this interview out? It's been an honor.
Oh, praise be to Allah.
Amazing information that you have shared with the whole world. You all that are watching, thank you for tuning in. The brother came in with some information. Take note, rewatch the video. It'll be on YouTube here shortly. Check it out. Share it with your friends and family. If you love them, you take care of what you love, right? Share it, and maybe a statement or a comment that could have saved someone else's life or even your own. But
Right.
Brother Amir, you want to share the information for VSK training Tuesday and Thursday and Saturdays?
Yes,
And
definitely. I don't know the number. Usually, my wife is good with the number.
74121.
Say it again.
74121.
Right. Text VSK to 7. There she go, right in the chat. Check
I love her. I love her.
74121 VSK, and that'll give you the link to be able to train with our teacher, Grandmaster Abdul Aziz, and his teacher, Soke Little John Davis, who are
Yes.
big martial art giants in the world, and their teacher,
Man.
the Musa Muhammad, also known as
Yes.
Dr. Moses Powell, giants in this martial arts world. And look, I've never been no karate like, yeah, I'm not with that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm with training for survival. And
That's
that's
right.
what our teachers teach us, to survive. So the thing that got me interested is because, man, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan commissioned this man,
Yes.
Grandmaster Abdul Aziz, to be the national trainer. Now, whether you're in the Nation of Islam or not, let me
That's
let you know, you're still under the charge or the guidance of Minister Farrakhan by God.
right.
You could take it
Yes.
alone. So when he's the national trainer, that means even for you, he's in charge of training you. So he makes himself available every Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays for the sisters. So he appointed him a job to make sure that we all be able to prepare and save ourselves from any kind of attack. So we learn if somebody's coming to choke you, if somebody's coming to grab you, if somebody's storming. It's all of these different techniques that's giving you different reflexes to put into your mental. So if something does happen, you can react with the right movement and not this movement and not that.
Yes.
You know, if you don't train for something, you don't know how you're gonna react in that manner. So I encourage you, at least come check the class out. Again,
That's right.
text 74121 VSK, your name, and they'll reply with the link for you to get on every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Central Time. So that's 8 p.m. East Coast and 5 p.m. West Coast. And Saturdays is only for sisters at 12
Only.
o'clock. 12 o'clock, sisters only. Brothers, you have to catch it Tuesday and Thursday. And again, man, it's my honor. Thank you, sister. I'm not worthy of sharing me. I didn't think I had anything to offer. Anything good that I said, all was from Allah. Anything bad, forgive your brother for his error, but anything bad was only on me. All good came from Allah. And I thank you again from this time. Again, please protect yourself and your babies, man, at this time. Get your supplies up. Don't stop stocking your dry goods, your perishables, your canned goods, your water. Don't stop. Get a gallon a day. Get a case a day. Get 3 cans a day. Get your survival kit. Don't think because you live on the West Coast, the snowstorm won't come to you, because it doesn't snow like that in Texas, and it shut this whole joker down. Don't think because you're on the East Coast, an earthquake won't shake you up. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it's going to be a great earthquake. When? We don't know. He says it's going to hit the West Coast. We don't know. So be prepared. Start looking. If an earthquake hits, do you, as my sister Danielle teach, you got to have a grab bag. If you can just grab one backpack and go, what are you going to have in that backpack? Where are you going to go? What else? You know, how do you survive? So I would just recommend, you know, in this time, you know, it's not time to go to Cabo, go to Jamaica, to go to, where is everybody trying to go over there?
Cancun, Belize,
What is that? The Arab nation, Dubai. It's
Dubai.
not time for that right now. It's time for you to sit still and let God bring in his, I'm not, that's the whole thing. It's time for you to sit still.
I'm gonna bring you back. I'm gonna bring you back.
As your mama say, let go and let God. Prepare to survive and let God handle all of this stuff that's going on. Get out the way, you know.
Yeah.
Your survival. Love, as the student supreme captain taught us. Love your loved ones while you can love them. Love your parents while you can love them. I lost my grandmother January 1st this year, and it hasn't a day gone by that I don't think about her. And I was good to my grandmother while she was here, but I still find times where I feel I could have been better. So now while we still have our loved ones, be better. Getting off of this talk and just call somebody in your family that you haven't talked to in a while and just tell them you love them, because I wish I can tell my grandmother that I loved her one more time. She knows it, but just for me. I was telling my wife on the way to the mosque that she told me sometimes she dreams of her mother because she lost her mother. I said, I pray that I can dream of my grandmother, because hugging her in my dream will fill that void that I feel right now. So if it's your siblings that you have, call them and tell them you love them. If it's an aunt, uncle, just love while you can love, because you never know when Almighty God, Allah, will call for them home, and you never know, you don't have their physical no more. So again, if you don't take anything else from today, be aware, prepare yourself, and love your loved ones while you can. Give a kind word. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, says the best form of charity, if you can't give any money, then a smile and a kind word is charity. So try to make somebody, if you having the worst day, try to make somebody else smile and see what that does to you. So again, thank you, sister, for having me. I'm humbled, and I pray I was able to be of some kind of service for somebody out there. I pray that if any of my teachers see that I presented and represented them well, and if my wife is watching, I hope I represented her well. Because
always. But I want to be able to have you and her come back, inshallah, in the future, Brother Amir. You and her together, because you all do some training with your children that I admire and many of us admire. Not to go into too much detail about that, because that could be interesting for those to know what that looks like and what needs to happen on that level about our children being secure and being confident in their security. So admire that definitely. Those again, 74121, texting VSK to for Tuesday and Thursday, Brother Grandmaster Abdul Aziz. Sisters, you don't have to be Wonder Woman. You ain't trying to be She-Ra, but basic techniques to help save your life. VSK is a life-giving training. It's a life-saving training. You know, you're not going to be able to go there and just be a master overnight. No, we're not saying that. But repetition, doing it over and over, repetitive activity helps to build confidence. So when that brother come and attack you,
Right.
it's easy for you. Not, I mean, it'll be a struggle, but you feel comfortable in gashing the eyes, hitting the throat, hitting that groin. It took me time to build it, and I think a lot I have grown, and I have much to grow in, more to grow.
We all
But definitely we want to be able to start somewhere. Your children, teach and train your children while they're young, because they definitely can get choked behind and dragged out for a Xbox or a whatever case may be. We got to be ready. Brother Amir, thank you again. Love you all much. Sister Sierra, thank you so much. Thank you all for tuning into NNV News. Please share comments in the section below. Follow us on social media at NNV News and subscribe to our YouTube channel, National Network View. I am Danielle X with NNVnews.com. Peace. Next salam, sir. Thank you.